Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Wild and Never podcast. As always, I'm joined by Jean-Luc Harry, and we have a lot to talk about, don't we, Jean?
Yeah, we do, yes.
We
Sorry
have
about
half
the wait.
of, the news of the year to, cover, or it feels like it anyway. It's just, literally everything's happened in, the last few days, and we tried to record this video multiple times, and then whenever we get ready to record, something new drops. So we didn't want to record this until, as much stuff had come out as possible. We haven't even talked about Ncuti yet on this channel, I've realised.
Oh, no. Yeah, because that was what the main bulk of the podcast, that was the idea we had, right? Okay, right, new Doctor, let's shoot that. Yeah. And then, for whatever reason, right, we just couldn't work something out, none of us were available.
Yeah.
We were going to shoot, start recording one, 3 or 4 days ago, whenever the Tennant Catherine Tate stuff came out. Yeah. And then ever since then, right, I've been trying we've been trying to work something out, and every time I go to message him, he'll be live streaming, and it's just
Yeah. Because I have to be, because, this is, kind of my job now, so it's I'm trying my best to balance all of this. But, yeah, we're finally here now. Is it best to start off with Ncuti? Because I feel like...
I think that is the big thing to get out of the way, we have a new Doctor.
I feel like that has gotten a bit lost in the shuffle amidst... Because it was naturally going to, amidst all of the filming and the Tennant announcement and the new Rose, which we'll get on to, and all these other things. But I'm really happy with Ncuti's casting. I think he's a really solid choice.
Yeah.
I recently binged all of Sex Education up until the end of season 3. They're now filming for season 4. They're about to, at least, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Sex Ed.
Good, yeah.
But I think he's brilliant in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because even I've watched Sex Education as it was coming out, and he was never on my radar. I never necessarily saw people talking about him either. But I think going back and rewatching certain clips and stuff from him, he definitely has it in him to do a really good job.
I think particularly in series 1, where there's some more serious moments with him. There's that scene where he's in the car with his dad, I think, and he's crying about what kind of man do you want to be, and he's just distraught at the idea of how he's been treated, and it's this guy's got some proper serious acting chops to him. He's a good actor, and he balances the comedy very well, and his character inside, obviously I know he's not going to play it like Eric from Sex Ed, obviously, but his character from Sex Ed was giving me real vibes of 11, if anything, in the series 5 with the Ponds. Because there's a scene, I think it's near the first few episodes, it happens a few times across the show, it kind of becomes a running bit, where I believe Otis is the main character, and Maeve, who's the love interest to Otis, will want to talk about something, and Eric's character, or Ncuti, will just be sort of stood there being oh, so you want me to go? Right, okay. And he'll just awkwardly shuffle away. And that was giving me very 11th Doctor with the Ponds when, they were kissing or whatever, and he was oh, I'll just pop to the swimming pool. It was giving me those vibes a lot, so that's a good sign for me. As
I could sort of see him playing a sort of mix between something like 11, something a bit Eccleston-y as well.
Yeah.
Because I feel
11 and the other number.
No. I feel like Eccleston's Doctor. I feel like Ncuti is going to bring a lot of that sass that Eccleston had.
Yeah, and I think he's going to have some darkness to him as well. I can definitely see there's some untapped darkness there.
The thing is, I don't want another necessarily dark Doctor again.
No,
I don't want another light and fluffy Doctor coming directly after Jodie. But I don't want another dark, brooding.
I think a mix for me is what's ideal.
This is dramatic.
A mix for me is what's ideal.
I feel like a kind of what 10 was to begin with. I guess also Matt Smith to begin with.
Yeah, Matt Smith series 5 is kind of my sort of hope, I guess, where he's a bit sort of, and obviously he'll bring his own flavour to it. I get the feeling he's going to be cooler than both 10 and 11, to be honest. maybe that's blasphemous to say, but like looking at the guy's style and just looking at like how organically he moves and like dances and things, like I
can't wait to see his costume. I can't wait to see what they stick him in, because
like, I can see
has
being in the TARDIS with Ncuti's Doctor to be an absolute like riot. Like I can see it being a really fun time in there. You know, because you said to me, "Oh, disco TARDIS," and I was like, "Yeah, that'd be cool." And he could like, you know, be dancing around while he's flying the TARDIS. Like I could see him being a really fun presence as the Doctor.
Yeah, because in interviews, he's so enthusiastic and he's bringing so much energy before he's even in the part, and I'm like, "Ooh, yeah, I'm just really hyped to see what he brings."
I really like his voice as well, and it's like it's a very unique voice with a bit of like the Scottish in it, but it's also like it's got its own flavour. I don't know. Like, that sounds really weird to say, but, like, you have got...
It's like a mix of cultures, it's not... It's not really traceable.
Yeah, and I like that. Because I feel like the Doctor shouldn't necessarily feel traceable to one culture inherently, or that's a good idea for the Doctor, because they are, you know, a galactic wanderer who goes from civilization to civilization, it kind of checks out that their accent would kind of be a bit all over the place. Like, obviously they spend a lot of time on Earth, I guess, in the UK, so that would be where most of the influence comes from. You know, you got a bit of Scottish in there, you got a bit of, obviously, because I think, was Ncuti born in Rwanda, I believe? So
I think he was, yeah.
He's got a bit of that twang to him as well, so, like, I quite like that he's got a very, very nuanced and interesting accent, and I think that'll be a really nice thing to listen to.
I can't wait to like hear him saying like dramatic speeches.
Yeah, I think he's going to sound really good doing big dramatic speeches.
And especially under like Russell's writing as well. Like he's great at all that whimsical and just some of the words and stuff he makes up and incorporates into his speeches. I can totally see Ncuti giving this big grandiose performance.
Like I can see him doing the Voyage of the Damned thing of like, I'm the Doctor, or I'm insert age. I'm going to do this, this, and this, and you're going to like it, and be that whole cheeky thing of like, I don't know, I can definitely see him sort of cheekily asking a companion to be like, you want to come with me? And it's like the sort of grin and like the sort of knowing look of like, yeah, you're about to see the universe, you know. I don't know, he has a lot of promise, and I think he's going to be great. I genuinely think he's going to be fantastic.
Same.
Something I do want to bring up if I can, like, obviously I don't want this podcast to be all about this, and I want it to be quite an upbeat podcast, obviously, but I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't mention some of the things that Ncuti has gotten. Obviously it's a vocal minority, but like some of the stuff that I've seen against Ncuti's casting was like, whoa, what the hell? Like,
yeah, I saw that.
Why are people like this? You know, obviously you did a tweet about like a YouTuber who I won't name, saying that like Doctor Who's an intrinsically white character, and it's like, how he's an alien, or you know, they are an alien because they could be both. They're an alien who travels through, you know, time and space, fixing injustice, fighting for the little guy, and you know, toppling evil empires. What about that is intrinsically like white? You know, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
I think a lot of the stuff that he's gotten is entirely unjustified. I'm not going to dwell on that too much. One thing I am interested in that regard, I do wonder how it's going to play into historicals. That is something I'm interested in.
I think it's going to add an interesting layer.
I think, what I can imagine, obviously I don't want it to be like the focus of every historical story of like, the Doctor's being treated like shit because he's gone to the past. But I could definitely see things that would be easier for him to do before will now be harder. So, say for example, the Doctor's trying to convince someone in authority, like, do this, do this, do this. They might go, you know, I don't know whether I should listen to someone like you. You know what I mean? That sort of dialogue I can imagine being present, and I think that'll be a really interesting dynamic because, aside from the witch hunt, not the witch hunters, the witchfinders, they didn't really explore the issues like Jodie's gender presented or could have presented in as much depth that I would have liked them to.
And I think they did a pretty poor job in the Witchfinders, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like it was pretty glossed over even in that, when it was... Because, like, the idea of a female Doctor in the Witchfinders is, like, in the Witch Trials, I keep getting stuck on my words. It's, like, such a cool idea, fundamentally.
Yeah. It was always going to happen. I just hate that they then like made the whole thing about, oh, it's these mud monsters. Kind of...
I don't like the witch
yeah.
No, but I hope that is one thing that gets more of the focus, is like, if we are getting, you know, like, explore that as a part of the show, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I actually think that him being someone of colour as well is pretty great, for the fact that this guy is going to be on the posters, billboards, all across the merchandise, essentially front and centre of the franchise, and particularly for a show like Doctor Who. That's a really big deal.
It's the first time we're getting, you know, a POC Doctor as the main one. Obviously, a lot of people are quick to point out Jo Martin is the first Black Doctor, which she is.
And she did a great job with the role, but ultimately, Ncuti's going to be front and centre of the brand.
Yeah, and ultimately, this is the one Doctor, the one new Doctor that, like, the audience are going to get to know, because even if, you know, whatever casual audiences were watching Series 12 and 13, you didn't see much of Ruth then anyway. So when people say, oh, we're going to get our first, like, Black Doctor, I don't think it comes out of a desire to, like, erase Jo Martin or anything like that.
No.
I think it's just like, yeah, he is the first main one, you know?
Yeah.
And that's really cool. But yeah, no, his costume, as you mentioned earlier, I think is going to be great. I think he's got such fashion style and, like, fashion sense. I think, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I think I definitely picturing him something more colourful and more...
Oh yeah. Although I don't know if I'm just going for colourful looks, because every time I've seen him, he's been in like a really colourful look.
I guess, but then at the same time, it's like the last two Davis Doctors have been like really subdued and like kind of...
Yeah, I really don't want just like a plain suit or something like really generic.
Yeah. The other end of that logically would be give him like a colourful, vibrant outfit.
I wouldn't mind something like Jodie's colour-wise, but refined and less like a costume.
Yeah. I want it to be more like 12's in the sense of I don't want it to be one uniform look. 12 had so many different like variations.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to that. Because it's weird to me how like Jodie basically has, well no, she does basically have the same costume out of it. Like in her entire run, she just has an unlimited supply of these same jumpers in different colours, and it's like, I don't know, it all just feels a bit uniform, and the couple of times where she has deviated, I feel like have been her stronger looks, i.e. when she's tying in Flux, in Spyfall, when she's got the sort of, the suit on with the fancy bow tie, like, those to me kind of look better than her main outfit.
I prefer the Haunting one with the waistcoat, and Legends of Sea Devils was a good look as well.
Yeah, Legends of Sea Devils look was cool. The only thing I take issue with the Haunting look, I kind of feel like the shirt that she wears looks weird with the same coat over the top to me.
Maybe.
Like, it doesn't quite gel in my opinion, but fair enough, you know. It's, yeah, but I think Ncuti's outfits are going to be great, and like TARDIS console, I immediately pictured him in something more classic, infused.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But like, I don't want. Can we please go away from like the organic, like?
Oh yeah. I don't see us doing that again, to be honest.
Because we've kind of just had that with Jodie as well, so I really can't imagine them doing that again. Like,
no, I certainly hope not.
Yeah, I would certainly hope not.
I hope Russell has learned from his first console, which, to be fair, did work with the context of the time.
Yeah,
like,
in the time it works, but now, like, nah, you want something nice looking.
Yeah,
like,
you want something slick.
I think. Yeah, definitely. I think, is there anything else we want to say on Ncuti before we...
No, I think that's about it. I feel like because we've left it so long, like, there isn't much to be said that we haven't already said, like, already elsewhere.
Yeah, because you probably said it with Ollie on your channel, and I probably said it in like my discussion video.
I have my thoughts refined over on my own channel.
Yeah, like, I think my thoughts are just, I think he's a great casting.
Yeah.
I honestly think he's going to do a great job, and I look forward to seeing what he brings. And I think Russell knows what he's doing with Ncuti, definitely. I think the casting choice was great, but yeah.
Let's talk about the actual 14th Doctor now.
David Tennant. Oh. Well, yeah, this is a whole thing. This is a whole other deal, isn't it?
I think we should probably start at the news of David Tennant and Catherine Tate being announced.
Yeah, because this is the thing. How do you even approach this news? Because like so much of it has like. The problem is, right, we've had lots of genuine, credible like leaks essentially. You know, from Reddit and stuff. Not like I don't know, Billy from across the road is going to be in an episode. Like, actual, you know, like there's that one main leak that everyone's talking about. I did a video on before it was cool, by the way. Just saying that now. But like I think so much of that is conflated with what's actually official. If you know what I mean, like what's actually official is David Tennant and Catherine Tennant coming back. They're filming right now, as we know. I was kind of expecting this announcement. It was still cool to see it happen, though. I remember being like, "Oh my god, it's happening!"
Yeah, it's the way they did it, because they done it in the same way they announced Ncuti. By putting
I really like this new trend of just doing some random emojis and then bam, there's an announcement.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like the diamond, obviously putting into the diamond anniversary and stuff. Like it was cool.
No, I liked it. It was good. I think for me, it's the sort of thing of like, as I said, because I follow these things so closely, I was expecting a Tennant drop. It was still cool to see it come to fruition, though.
Yeah,
Tate obviously was like speculated as well, but I think it was less certain with Tate. Tennant,
that's the thing. It's like speculating about something and then actually seeing it are two different things. Yeah,
exactly. And seeing it confirmed was like, wow, they are doing that. And like, yeah, I was really happy about it. And having seen filming stuff, I'm again really like happy about it. I know, like, there are some optics to it. And one thing I didn't mention when we were talking about Ncuti, actually, it just comes to my head. I understand the disappointment from some people that it wasn't another woman. I do get that. Like, I can understand from an optical perspective of like, okay, you've gone straight back to a guy, but I think it's mitigated for a few reasons. Obviously, number one, it's the first
one. Yeah, one. I think this was like the next best. Well, not even the next best thing. This was like the best like follow-on thing from that. And I think it's Ncuti also got the job because of his talent. Russell had even said they thought they had someone, and then Ncuti like blew the audition at the park, and he got the job.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's how it should be. Like,
yeah,
you know,
I think optics are important to a certain degree, especially the times we're in now. You know, it would just be good for that little bit more diversity and whatever.
If they'd have gone straight back to a white bloke and then had Tennant coming back as well, it would feel like, okay, you're really just.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing of why I'm not too big on this whole rumor of Tennant actually being the 14th Doctor. I have nothing against him coming back, reprising the role, even being like an alternate Doctor or whatever Russell does. I just don't want the next Doctor after Jodie to not just to be like just another white guy, but be like a previous white guy, which would technically then also be like the same incarnation, like 4 bodies later. Yeah. That's essentially, that would also be 3 regens, all used up by David Tennant. Yeah. It's just like, when you break it down, I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah, that is the one thing about it. Like, obviously, we don't know how it's going to officially be done. Like, there might be a workaround that, like, we're not aware of yet. Like, because it is just based on, like, leaks and stuff. And the leaks are pretty credible.
I think it's just because they've all come from this one leak. Like, right down to naming specific characters, and it does almost feel like this is pretty much
I do get that point. It might feel a bit fanficky in the sense of like
that's what I thought.
Like at the same time, for me, I don't see it as big as big of an issue, but for a couple of reasons. As I said, we have Ncuti now, so for me it's still a case of they're still moving forward after this.
I feel like it's that thing of me going, okay, the next Doctor. No, well, not even the next Doctor. Yeah, we have this Doctor, like, a few down the line. We're just going to do this first, though.
Yeah.
I feel like they've almost announced Ncuti. Just put a dampener on the possibilities of Tennant being 14.
Well, I would say, like, you're saying in the sense of...
Yeah, because I feel like if we didn't know about Ncuti...
Yeah, no, I agree.
And this whole thing was going ahead, then...
Yeah, if we just knew about Tennant
there'd be a lot more of an uproar. About that.
If we just knew about Tennant coming back as a new incarnation, people would be like, what the fuck, you're just going directly back again.
But I mean, they still are doing that. And I mean, even if Tennant is only sticking around for like a couple of specials, maybe even just the one special, they are kind of doing that, like, regardless of how long it'll be. Yeah. I don't know, it just feels weird to me.
Well, we don't know if we don't. Obviously, I think it's looking likely now, given the fact that obviously, we'll talk about filming in a bit more depth, but we've seen he's with 13's TARDIS, in like exterior, 13's box. as well as the fact that his costume is different as well.
The shooting stuff all looks really cool.
It does look
like
really
his
cool.
Costume.
It looks sick. Yeah, no, we'll talk about that in more depth because I want to talk about the differences in the costume and all that. But I think for me, obviously, I know people have said separate your like looking at it from a marketing perspective and as a fan. As a fan, I get the concerns. I don't have them as much. Because it is a temporary thing, like it's not.
It's that thing of like I'm excited to see it, but even if it is a temporary thing, it just annoys me. Like even if we do say like, oh, but it's just one of these hidden incarnations that doesn't really count, that annoys me too. I don't know if it's just like having the list thing, but
possibly
this is another extra bonus Doctor.
I think
stop with the extra bonus Doctors.
I do agree with that, but I think for me as well, what lessens my feeling slightly that this is a complete step back is that it is for an anniversary, and doing stuff like this for anniversaries you can kind of get away with. Like
I wouldn't mind if it was something like maybe the regeneration's going a bit wrong.
Well,
maybe the Doctor like fluctuates through like past bodies or something.
Well,
Could be
that
cool.
Might be the case. I have seen rumours that. Because you know how there have been rumours of classic Doctors making like little cameos in the centenary?
Yeah.
That might be what happens, where Jodie will just like morph into Sylvester McCoy all of a sudden, and then Peter Davison, and then it'll eventually land on Tennant, and that's where we pick up the three.
Do you see Jodie being in this?
What, in the 60th?
Yeah.
No.
Because obviously, same. Because obviously we know she's pregnant.
Yeah.
She's probably like having a break from the role. That was another thing that I was thinking, like, are we even going to see the regeneration?
I hope we do. Then again, would it look odd? Like,
it's that thing of like, who is she going to regenerate into? Like, will it be 10?
I think that the rumor at the moment is that's what it'll be, but
or will series like 13? No, not 13. Will the centenary just end?
Perhaps there are
like in a weird sort of vague way, and then we'll start this new year.
Here's an idea I haven't thought of. Maybe there are 2 regenerations. Maybe there is a regeneration from Jodie into Tennant, but there's also a regeneration from Jodie into Ncuti. And like one of them is like a divergent timeline that's gone wrong for some reason, and the thing we follow along the specials is trying to get the timeline back on track. So you can kind of do like a sort of little like a comic book Elseworlds type event without running the risk of messing up the numbering and that sort of thing. Maybe that sounds
kind of cool.
Yeah,
I wouldn't hate that.
Because then you can kind of have your cake and eat it too. You can have David come like regenerate from Jodie into the Tennant again, but you could also have the Jodie into Ncuti. So that way, it doesn't really feel as much like this is a step back, rather a side step. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than a step
because I
backwards.
think another problem that I had with it as well is, okay, so the Doctor regenerates into David Tennant, and then the first special with them sees David Tennant's Doctor meeting up with previous companions that travelled with David Tennant's Doctor.
Yeah.
I just feel like, really,
unless he
it
like
does just feel like they're just
like he loses his memory or something and ends up maybe he thinks he's the 10th Doctor again because like why else am I looking like this? I don't know.
Well that's the thing. I like tweeted out like from like the leaks and stuff we've seen. He is just playing it like the 10th Doctor, like down to the costume. Sure, it's a variation, but it does just kind of feel like the 10th Doctor, but later down the line.
Yeah. Another thing I've seen posited is that they're doing the Dark Dimension thing of 10 never regenerated in this timeline. So,
that'd be cool.
Like, that's why he looks older, that's why the costume's different, that's why he has Jodie's TARDIS, because assumedly, you know...
That would kind of be sick, actually.
He'd keep changing the interior if he kept being the Doctor. That'd be quite cool. And the thing is, we don't know that's not happening yet, which is why as well I think I'm a little less...
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to go too hard because we don't know. Yeah.
It's the sort of thing where I'm not even that upset by the rumor if it is true. I kind of do get it, but it's not like... I think for me, as I said, I am just a bit more optimistic because I know that we're getting something else afterwards. And I know that like for some people it still could be considered as a backstep, but it's like, I don't mind a one-off backstep if it not only benefits the show, but I also really want to see it. It's like...
It's weird. Yeah,
For
I'm
me, I see it
I'm
as
in
a
like
win-win.
two minds because it's like I do really want to see this. This is my Doctor, my my era essentially, all coming back together.
Yeah.
Like my childhood era. So it's like, yeah, of course I want to see it, but at the same time, part of me's like at war with the other half.
Yeah, you're sort of adult
adult me's like,
brain.
but it's dumb.
Yeah, but
And
then child me's like, oh my god, David
like,
Tennant's walking around in the suit. What?
Yeah.
Catherine Tate,
Exactly.
Bernard
Yeah,
Cribbins, all of
exactly.
this. It's like, yeah. I think, should we talk a bit about said other people?
I think we should, because there are a good few said other people.
There are. Starting off with, obviously, Catherine Tate and Bernard Cribbins, because those were the first shots we saw. It was Tennant, Tate and Cribbins filming a scene where they were getting in the TARDIS was the first scene that I saw being filmed. Not yesterday, but the day before, I believe.
You're right.
My timing is right. Seeing Bernard Cribbins back, I did not expect, mainly because I think he's like 95 now, so I was like, nah, there's no way Cribbins...
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
But they just
mad.
got him in his wheelchair, and I'm like, you know what? I respect it. If Cribbins wants
that's
to do
great, so that is...
Yeah. I said on Twitter,
good on
actually,
him for being up for that.
It's really nice for me, personally, to see a main Doctor Who character get wheeled into the TARDIS by a wheelchair. Because that's just something I've never seen to be done before, I don't think. And I think it's just... You know, I always had this theory as a kid, like, would you even be able to get over the step of the TARDIS? You know, like, as a kid, I was always wondering that. So, you know, that's something really nice to see for me as a disabled person, you know. Obviously, I know it's because of Bernard Cribbins' age, but it was just really nice for me personally. And Bernard Cribbins doesn't look any different either. Like, he has not changed. I think the wheelchair will also signify that time has passed, and that's another reason why... As I said before, this doesn't feel quite as like a step back because their lives have progressed. You know, Donna's got a kid, as we'll get on to. Bernard Cribbins is definitely looking older. There's stuff going on, obviously, with time and all that. So, but Bernard Cribbins being back, obviously, Wilf is a legend. Wilf is like one of the best Doctor Who characters. He's so fun, and I'm really glad that like they're bringing him back. It's just seeing them all together again in Doctor Who. Like, how can you not be excited
Did you think that would
No.
Did you think that would ever happen again?
No. I think it's the sort of thing of, like, you know, you go years of people speculating, oh, this person's going to come back for this series, and this person's coming back for this series. Because, like, there was even that whole rumour about Catherine Tate being in Series 13, and we were like, how dumb is that? Catherine Tate being back? I mean, we had to wait a bit longer, but that is essentially happening now, and that's very exciting. You know, it's massively exciting, and I think that's why I think it's being done. Like, I want to talk about this a bit as well. The amount of hype I have seen for Doctor Who over the last few days, genuinely, I don't think it's been this hype since about 2013. I do not remember it being this hype for a long time.
And it should be. It's a lead up to the 60th.
And it should be, yeah.
Of course we should be hyped, yeah.
And I'm glad that that's there, because like, what's lovely to see as well, I put it out on Twitter earlier, new people getting into the show for the first time as a result of all the news. That's really cool to see.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of tweets being like, not watched Doctor Who until now, like, this is actually interesting me, I'm going to tune in. And that's really cool.
And it's like, I can't wait for that. And I think that's all part of a plan for Russell. I said before, launching a new era with Tennant to get the casuals back in, and then introducing your new Doctor off the back of that, should theoretically be the recipe for, like, blowing up Doctor Who again.
Russell 100% knows what he's doing. He knows how to play the game. He understands the industry. Like,
you know, people will come in for Tennant.
The show is in safe hands.
Stay for Ncuti is the idea, I think. You know, that's the whole sort of plan. But it's just really nice to see everyone so excited again, because... And so universally excited. Obviously, there's some people who got concerned, and I understand that. But this feels like the most unified the fandom has been in a long time. Yeah. Even people who are, you know, fans of this era are like, oh my god, this filming is so exciting, and that's really nice, you know?
Yeah, because that's what I'm like. I'm sceptical about, you know, the concerns that I brought up, but I can't help but not be excited.
Yeah, exactly, and I think...
Even if it is just a big fan-wanky event.
I think I would be
these
less
anniversaries
excited
are
if it was
supposed to...
being written by someone who wasn't Russell.
Oh yeah,
well.
if this was Chris Chibnall
I'd be
and
like,
bringing
fuck.
back all of these characters, you know, what the centenary looks to be,
Yeah.
I would want to kill myself.
Yeah, but because it's Russell and he knows these characters like the back of his hand, he made them. You know, he birthed these characters.
Forged them.
He forged them.
The clay of Earth.
I think he much better than anyone is going to make these feel feel authentic and feel genuine. And like Sylvia Noble's back. I was never never in my life was I expecting to see Sylvia Noble in Doctor Who again. Like
never had I thought I'd be excited about seeing Sylvia Noble back.
Because Sylvia's so horrible in the main show, and I guess that's the point. But it's like Sylvia's the person you're meant to root against in the Russell era, like when Donna's in the show, and like. Yeah, having people be like, "Oh my god, Sylvia's like really fun," I think, and you know, we're seeing Donna's husband from I believe End of Time Part 2. I believe it's the same person.
That's cool.
And yeah, it's really cool. It kind of gives me vibes of this is gonna feel very I guess like nerdy, but it's giving me sort of vibes of like, you know, that Tracy Beaker revival they did a while back.
Oh yeah,
where it's like you know. Them years later and she's got a kid and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it's giving me like the vibes of, and I like that. Like I think I'd rather have it be showing the old characters in new scenarios than just plucking the old characters out from wherever they left off. Actually, because I'm thinking about it now. If you look at, I'm using Star Wars as an example, with like CGI Luke and stuff, it just feels so like we're trying to make it 1977 again. But
I think you're right. I think you're probably right there.
But by having the things move on, I think it makes it feel like we've grown up with these characters. Kind of like the Harry Potter effect of like you've grown up with these characters to a certain degree. And yeah, I really liked that. And speaking of, you know, additions to the Noble family, we have a new Noble, Rose Temple Noble, probably.
Yeah, I fucking hate the name.
Oh, do you?
But only because Russell T Davies, and over his entire tenure, was obsessed with Rose.
Yeah.
So for him to come back for the 60th and name like Donna's daughter Rose.
Yeah. But then,
come on, man.
I have seen a theory that like Donna's memories of the Doctor become like sort of encased inside her daughter, so therefore that explains why she named it Rose.
I've heard similar things regarding that. How do you feel about just Donna coming back as a whole and addressing that? Because I can kind of see this as an avenue to giving her that kind of happy ending, like best of both worlds.
It's difficult.
Like, I do think they're gonna probably wrap this up with, if this is set, you know, in the future with the Doctor. You know, she remembers all the stuff, like all the great stuff she's done, and it will probably end on a bit more of a lighter note.
The thing is, theoretically, like, if I hadn't seen any of the filming stuff, I'd probably be against the idea of Donna regaining her memories, because it's like, that is just such a great ending.
It's such a powerful scene.
Yeah, it's such a powerful scene, and it's acted beautifully, and it's great. At the same time, I think Russell knows that. And I think that's why he's deliberately played coy about where this fits in. You know, it's like, you know, on Instagram, he's like, is this a dream? Is this a parallel timeline? Is this... And I think there is going to be some timeline shenanigans going on. So if that is the case, you could still have that ending, but have this be, like... You know how, like, Dr. Octopus in No Way Home was, like, sort of scooped out and, like... He gets to reunite with Peter all these years later, and the inhibitor chip gets changed. You can still enjoy the Spider-Man 2 ending as the Spider-Man 2 ending, but you've got that little side story there as well. Maybe it's going to be treated in a similar way to that. Does that make any sense? Like,
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
it's like I hope that's how they treat it, because I think Dr. Octopus's arc was treated quite well, the best it could be if you're doing that type of story, and I kind of hope that it's treated delicately, at least. Like, I hope they don't just... I hope the first scene... Oh, she's got her memories back now, somehow... Like, no, I want... If that is the thing, I want that to be, like, part of, like, the arc of the 3 episodes. Is maybe maybe Donna
That's the
slowly
thing. That's the thing.
remembers stuff along the way.
Has it even been confirmed that it's 3 episodes?
It hasn't, but like it's looking likely that that's the
See,
case.
if it is 3 episodes, do you expect it to be like 3 Tennant-led episodes, or would you think they'd play into maybe other incarnations?
It's difficult because there has been.
It's that thing of like, if this is like if Tennant is playing like a future Doctor, like they would kind of have to go down the route of them all being Tennant like central.
It has. I think they're all. I
guess if they also did the thing of like the Doctors fluctuating between bodies as well, you could maybe
possibly
get like.
I think we're gonna get cameos from others, possibly. I still
because
think
that's the thing.
The focus is gonna be on 10 though, and I'm okay with that. I think because, as I said, from a casual audience perspective, he is the most popular. I love 10, and I mean Smith is my favourite. I mean the world's going to see him involved, but I think
I'm sure Smith will be back, like in interviews and stuff. I think he has like.
It'd be sick if like maybe they'll do like not the flux method in like let's put everything in at once, but like Russell could probably I trust Russell to balance ensemble casts better than I trust Chibnall anyway. So maybe we'll have like an A plot and a B plot, maybe in the episodes, because we don't know that's not the case. Maybe the A plot will be. Okay, Tennant is, somehow still the Doctor, or the Doctor again, or whatever.
Yeah.
And the other Doctors, be it 11, 12, whoever they can get, feel this disturbance and go, I'm going to go, like, sort of,
maybe
investigating this, and then they somehow, like, unite in the final episode, or something like that. My personal thing is, I would really like Ncuti to be in the last episode, and what I would like them to do is to have Tennant basically see Ncuti, see how much he's grown in all this time, and accept that he needs to move on from being David Tennant's Doctor. And that'll kind of be like a sort of metatextual theme for the audience of like, okay, Tennant's great, but we're moving on now, and stick with us.
I guess it just depends how they do it. Yeah.
Like, obviously this is a lot of speculation, but it's kind of hard not to speculate given how much, like, sort of question marks there are above a lot of this filming, which makes the filming very exciting. Which makes it...
Yeah, it's weird. This is like... I never thought I'd say this, like, back in 2015, but, like, I'm excited to see DWSR, like, being a thing again.
Yeah. And, like
Chibnall, just, like, the lack of, like, promotion or, like, insight we got from the Chibnall era. And what we've seen... Essentially, it's just one scene, one location, one scene, a couple of actors, and we already know so much.
And I think, I'll tell you something that I think exemplifies the differences between the two. And I mean Russell and Chibnall's, like, marketing team approach, or marketing approach in general. Russell was on set of Doctor Who the other day, for both sets. I don't think I've ever seen Chris Chibnall on set for any of his stuff that we've seen. And I'm not saying he needed to be, like, I'm not saying it was, like, absolutely essential. But just seeing him being involved and excited and waving to the fans and stuff, it just shows his difference as a showrunner. It shows his, like, flair for, sort of being a marketing man and being a spokesperson and a showman.
Oh yeah. That's always been the thing though. Like Moffat and Russell were definitely showrunners. Like. They would write the show, they would promote the show, they would talk about the show. They were just passionate about what they were making. Much, essentially, they were the show. Chibnall, and this isn't even a bash on Chibnall, it's just how he works. He's a lot more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He writes the scripts, and that's about it.
Yeah. Which is why it's kind of weird that they made him, like, showrunner. I feel like if you were going to make Chibnall showrunner, you needed someone alongside him to do, like, the press stuff, like
Matt Strevens.
Yeah, but like, what did Matt Strevens ever do?
Yeah, what did he do? Yeah.
Like, they say he's an executive producer, like, but what did he do? Anyway, then again, I suppose Phil Collinson was also seen on set as well the other day.
Yeah, he was,
producer. And Rachel Talale's been confirmed as director.
Which is what I'm really excited for.
That's really exciting.
I was even saying, cool. Like, months ago, like, I would really love for Rachel Talale to do the 60th.
And she's doing it. So it's like, theoretically, he's literally giving everyone everything they asked for. And as well, we have our new suit for the 10th Doctor, as well as a new Sonic, which has just sort of been, like, leaked. Which is, I'm just going through everything, because there's been so much. But like, I really love the new suit. I love the new look for 10.
It's
I
going to
think
be
it looks
great
fantastic.
seeing David Tennant like in his new suit, like in HD, directed by like Rachel Talalay.
It's gonna. Oh.
It's gonna
Now
be so
you've said
cool.
that, I've realised how fantastic this is gonna look.
Yeah, because you even like all the 12th Doctor finales, right? Like, especially the TARDIS scenes and stuff, like how dramatic they are. Like, I could see us getting some good shit.
I agree completely. The thing is, a lot of people say, "Oh, Chibnall era is the best looking." I'm like, is it?
No. I think the Moffat era is hands down the best looking. The
especially
show
like by series 10, I think they'd really nailed the visual language of it. And I think the thing is, just because more expensive cameras doesn't mean more good. Like,
well, I mean, I think Series 5 looks better than a lot of the Chibnall era.
Yeah, Series 5 looks
because
really good.
it's not even about the camera quality either. It's like
the color
it's just all it's the filters, color grading, direction.
And like,
I just feel like a lot of that's quite flat.
I quite like Jamie Magnus Stone, but I think
he's okay.
What's the other guy?
He's okay, but I think a lot
Salim. I don't like Azul Salim's directing very much. He was the one.
I just remember Series 11 in
Flux.
particular was just a lot of like close shot, reverse shot, and stuff like that. And you're like, this is a bit like basic.
Series like the Chibnall era in definitely visually in multiple ways felt like a step backwards. I think for me that felt like a step back, and I think.
There are some scenes that look really nice in the Chibnall. We're obviously not saying all direction in the Chibnall era looks awful, because that would just be silly.
But of course there is some great looking shots. Like in When We Fell to Earth, when they're like, it's one of the ones that I think of. They're looking over that hill, with like that shit looks really nice.
Yeah.
Like
stuff in the Ghost Monument when like 13's running to the TARDIS also looks really good.
Yeah, that looks really nice. And there is some things that look nice, but I think that's an interesting question. Do you think they're keeping the wide angle lenses?
I can't see them going back now.
Yeah,
but I think seeing like competent. Well, no, that's mean. But I think seeing like
masters of the craft using them, because that's what Rachel Talalay is. Let's not like mince words. She is like a master.
She's definitely
craft.
like one of the best directors Doctor Who has had.
Like Heaven Sent is still like considered like one of the most beautiful like Doctor Who episodes, and in a large part,
even Hellbent, like sure. You know, you can not like the story, but like visually, it looks great.
Yeah, I think as well. Like World Enough in Time, Doctor Falls looks fantastic. All you need to do to prove that is look at all like the edits of that story and like all the noir, that George Sheard did of like the 4x3 and stuff, and like it still looks great. And it's like, I'm really excited for Rachel Talalay, and I'm glad that's been officially confirmed now, because we all kind of knew it was.
Yeah, it was weird that she was denying it like the first day after being seen on set.
She just sort of been loitering around the set, and then the second day she was on set again, and it's like, not sure what a non-director would be here for. Like, you've got a bad job. Like, I don't know why you're hiding it at this point. Just admit that you're doing Doctor Who. But she has now, and that's great. It's just really exciting. I did make a meme the other day being like all of the Doctor Who, everyone involved in Doctor Who on their way to Camden. It's just like hundreds of people walking across a desert, because it does just sort of feel like the best people from Doctor Who's past are just back. That's just mental to see, and I understand the fear, but it's also just really exciting. Do we want to talk a bit about... Because we talked a bit about Rose. I think Yasmin Finney... I have not seen Heartstopper yet.
I've not seen Heartstopper.
I only just finished Sex Ed for shooting, and now I've got to watch another show. By the way, Russell, why are you making Doctor Who fans watch shows about love and sex? None of us know what that is, Russell. Anyway, but I think she definitely, when I was seeing her on set the other day, she seemed great. Like, she seemed to really fit in with the established cast.
Yeah.
She seemed very welcoming to fans and like waving and all that sort of stuff. So she seemed really cool. Like, I don't have much to say other than I like the casting. I like, again, it's that same thing with Ncuti of she's got a big following of particularly young people due to Heartstopper, and I think that's a really good thing for the show, is getting these people with massive followings from these big Netflix shows in Doctor Who. I think it's just a really good idea. Like I saw.
I assume she's gonna have like quite a big role as well.
Like I saw someone quote tweet like one of the news sites that had said that she was cast, being like, okay, I need to learn what Chex knows Doctor Who is. Like, and that tweet had like 50,000 likes. And it's just things like that. It's like, I think we're going to get a lot of new people who are tuning in for
which is cool.
The 60th, or people who haven't tuned in for a while for the 60th and for Series 14, which is really nice to see. As I said before.
I was going to say the whole rumours of Peter Capaldi being in Camden.
Yeah, well, this was the thing yesterday.
A 20-minute walk away.
Yesterday, he was just at the train station near Camden, and people were like, oh my god, is he back? I really hope he is, even if it's just a short cameo.
I hope he's back, yeah.
Like, Rachel Talale's, like, worked with him a lot as well, so if anyone could convince him to join in, if he was hesitant, Rachel Talale would be that person, probably.
Yeah, it'd be so good to see him back.
It would be. I think he deserves it, because people tend to forget this.
Also just to see what, like, 12 is like under Russell.
And with the other Doctors as well, actually.
Yeah,
we've not seen him bounce on other Doctors yet. And also, I do think Capaldi kind of deserves it, because people tend to forget this. But Capaldi kind of got shafted when he left.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, there were the BBC articles being like, oh, he wasn't universally loved as the Doctor. And
well, that's the thing. Even before then, there was interviews of him being like, yeah, he wanted to be like the longest running Doctor as well. Like, like even like a few months before he announced he was leaving, he was saying, oh, I can't wait to
work with Chibnall.
See what Chris Chibnall does, work with Chris Chibnall over Series 11. And then it was just like randomly in one interview, he was sounding a bit sad, and he was like, yeah, sadly, this is going to be my last, or something.
Yeah, and I think there is more to that than we'll know. I think
there's 100% of like Chibnall wanted to do his own thing.
Yeah,
it was probably something like maybe like because Series 8 Capaldi got such like a negative like response,
and it didn't really recover ratings wise after that point. Yeah,
he isn't hot.
Yeah, which was dumb. Which was always dumb.
Yeah,
and that's why I want to come back to like prove to all the normies who are coming back, like, yeah, I was great. Screw you guys.
Yeah.
But also because, as I said, the BBC, because it does kind of make me laugh when people are like, oh my god, Jodie's being treated so unfairly. It's like the BBC literally released an article when Peter was leaving saying he wasn't universally beloved. Like, Jodie comparatively has had it like really nice in terms of an exit. You know, Russell's been singing his praises for her whenever they've been doing any form of press for the show. Like, I don't know, I just find... I know we mentioned it in the last podcast, so I won't dwell on it too much, but the constant victim complex that, like, 13th Doctor stands have is really weird to me. Like,
I think it's literally just because of like the whole "not my doctor" stuff to begin with. Like 100%, like the bigots, the sexist, they've almost ruined just the entire landscape in terms of fandom.
I guess, but then you've got people like attacking Russell, being like, "You moron! Why are you marketing stuff before Jodie leaves?" And it's like,
yeah, no, that's really dumb. Like that is like,
it's just stupid.
Just stupid.
It's just stupid at this point. And the thing is with it as well, like, to be fair to him, he literally announced it the day before they were publicly filming. I feel like he left it as long as he possibly could.
It's like, yeah.
Like,
if he hadn't announced it, it would have been leaked. And it would have been picked up by newspapers because it's so public.
And it would have probably gotten more attention than anyway.
The thing is, he's promoting his era of the show.
He's doing what he was employed to do.
He's promoting the TV show. Yeah. It's
How dare you do your job?
The problem isn't on Russell promoting the show. The problem is on Chris Chibnall or his team not promoting what they have.
Yeah, completely.
It's like, I hate this whole shifting the thing of like, oh, you're overshadowing like this.
No, it's just that you're not used to things being properly marketed because like normally the way Chibnall does it is wait 2 weeks until it airs and then do something. It's like, oh, this is how it's meant to be done. Like,
no, and I do get the whole thing of like, yeah, it is good to go into something and not know anything, because you do get those shocks. Like, imagine watching the 60th not knowing that Tennant and Catherine Tate were coming back.
Yeah, but it's just not possible. Big. Like,
yeah, it's just not really feasible. Yeah,
and like, I'd rather it be
and the thing
them
is, it's
having,
good to know.
And I
yeah,
think BBC would rather have them officially announce it than it be leaked by tabloids or by filming. You know. So I
feel like it's that thing, we sort of always expected 10 to come back anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, like, logistically, it's the 60th. If anyone's going to come back, it's going to be 10. He comes back for basically everything else. So.
And the thing is, they are keeping some stuff secret, because, like, I'm pretty sure the other day, like, they were shooting something at midnight or something, and they were telling fans to, like, leave.
Yeah. Well, they were filming,
Leave the
I think,
site.
a lot of VFX shots. Apparently, an alien, like, UFO spacecraft was in the
Yeah.
plot as well. There was, like, a whole
Yeah.
plot, like a scene that was basically described on Twitter. I mean, I can bring it up if you want, but I did do a video on it earlier, but... You know, it wasn't too interesting. It was just,
okay.
like Donna reunites with the Doctor, and the daughter. They see a UFO in the sky.
Okay.
Donna's husband gets out of a taxi, and then Ten takes the taxi himself. And seeing the filming stuff that we've already seen, they all seem to align quite well. So I'm taking that as pretty much true because they were on set themselves.
I like how Tennant gave them a winning lottery ticket, and like her husband's still a taxi driver.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But then again, that might add credence to the theory that this is a timeline where Ten never regenerated. Because if he never regenerated, he never does the farewell tour. If he never does the farewell tour, they never get the lottery ticket, and therefore he's still a taxi driver. Maybe that's the timeline we're entering into. I don't know.
Maybe. That would be interesting.
It would definitely be interesting. Yeah, do you want to talk a bit about the costume? Because
yeah, I'll talk about the costume, sure.
So, the difference is mainly he's got this. The jacket looks pretty much the same shape, but
yeah, it's a bit shorter.
Is it a bit shorter?
It's pretty much the same cut. Yeah, it's like the same cut.
But blue
looks similar
which
fabric.
I like because blue.
Yeah,
I wear a lot of blue, so it's
nice.
like, I'm really liking that. Is the fabric any different from what we can tell, or is it the same?
I'm not
fabric?
sure. I think it might be because I can't see it being suede, like his actual coat. Like this is probably like more of like a wool or something. But
which I kind of
definitely
like for an
works.
older Doctor as well. It's like that makes sense, you know, because he does look. Tennant, while he still looks great, he does look visibly a little bit older. So I think having that reflected in the costume is quite nice. The shirt seems to be white. Like a white shirt.
Yeah, it's either a white or a really pale blue or grey
I think it's white, I think
it's white as well.
And then the tie seems to be some sort of like greeny grey.
Yeah, greeny grey. Could possibly have a pattern on it.
Yeah.
I've not seen any good images of it.
I think it has a pattern on it. And then we've got the plaid trousers, the sort of tartan trousers.
Yeah.
That people were pointing at. I think that looks really cool.
Because I thought when I first saw the images, I just thought like he was wearing like a black suit or like a darker like suit.
Well, initially I thought it was just the pinstripe suit but with a new jacket, but no, it is it is a different suit because he's wearing the same Converse shoes, which I like. You know,
yeah. Obviously, we see he is wearing something under the coat, and he has the first button up, but the cut of it makes it look more like a waistcoat.
Yeah. Well, I know it's just talking about the costume, but you know, you were mentioning images earlier. Have you seen that like tweet of the people just hiding behind the barrage that they put up, and it's just like 20 phones taking like pictures. It's genuinely hilarious, but yeah, I think I like that he's keeping the 10 voice. Actually, I think it would feel a bit weird if he was. In a different accent to what he was as the Doctor.
Yeah,
before.
well, I mean, if it's that thing of if this is like just a universe where 10 didn't regenerate, then
that wouldn't make any sense. Like that.
Yeah, it's just he's Scottish now.
You know, the more I'm thinking about it, the more the not regenerating 10 thing makes sense. Like
I do kind of like that idea.
I like it more than probably the alternative of him being 14 because, like you said,
I don't like that at all. I honestly would take most things over that. Like. Alternate universe or whatever.
I'm not as opposed to it as you, but I think the idea of a Doctor never regenerating could lead to some really interesting like narrative ideas of like moving on and all this sort of stuff. So yeah. What else was there about the costume? I think well, I mean, not the Doctor's costume, but Donna seems to be in a more subdued look as well. I think she's in a black like sort of jacket with like a.
I think it's like a greeny, like
jumper.
A dark greeny like jacket, and then like a pink and red striped jumper.
Which looks nice as well. Again, I like how the colours are a bit more subdued to sort of signify age. I think that's nice.
Yeah.
I do wonder visually, like, how is this going to look? Because RTD's first era was very warm colours, like very orange, very brown, you know, sort of that sort of colour. But modern television's very like sort of it's less saturated, if anything. It's kind of maybe not less saturated.
Oh, no.
The colours
no. I 100% see this like looking like his other shows, like It's a Sin in years and years.
Which I think,
and especially with Rachel Talalay directing as well. Like,
I think it's going to look
definitely going to be like vibrant. Yeah,
I do think there's going to be a noticeable step up in like visual quality between the Chibnall era and this, because especially obviously we've ragged on it a lot, but on this podcast and anywhere else that we've spoken about it, but like Legend of the Sea Devils, it does not look good.
It does not, no.
And I think this is going to look like, honestly, the centenary, we've yet to really see much of that. Isn't it kind of mental that we almost know about as much about the 60th next year as we know about the centenary that's coming out in like 4 months? Like, that is kind of 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
That is kind of mental. And I understand why they're not doing more stuff at the moment, because it is 5 months away, but it is also like, I don't know, I just find that kind of funny. Like, even the length of the special and the date was confirmed by Russell. I don't know, I just find it really odd. But yeah, it's just, everything that's happening is really exciting. Is there anything else that we haven't covered?
I don't know. We got through a lot of that quite quickly.
Yeah, I was surprised actually.
Or at least
by
quicker
the
than I thought.
I think the sonic screwdriver as well, I don't have a strong opinion on it because it is like gradient.
Yeah, me
like
neither.
it looks kind of nice from what I can see, but
it's another toy in which I will buy
multiple of probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think characters gonna love this because like it's literally just we're making 10th Doctor stuff again, but slightly different. So they better.
That's the thing. They're going to have that alternate 10th Doctor Sonic, and then they're going to give Ncuti his own Sonic.
Yeah, this is the thing I've missed as well. Russell knows how to make toys, and I know that like that's normally seen as a cynical thing.
Him specifically, he's the one in the factory making.
No, but I mean in the sense of like his monsters were very toyetic as well. You look at things like the Ood, like the Sycorax, like the like they all lended themselves to being toys quite well. Like, look at the amount of like adipose plushes and things like that. Like,
yeah,
he had an eye.
But that's the thing. He knew what he was doing. Like, he would actually give the images to the production companies that are making these things. And Chibnall didn't do that.
Yeah, which I just find really odd. But I think we're gonna get an explosion of merchandise for the 60th anniversary, which I can't wait for as well.
Oh yeah, I
think
I'm really excited.
Characters just chomping at the bit to re-release.
I can't wait to be poor.
Yeah, they're chomping.
I can't wait to be poor with my new 10th Doctor suit, all my action figures, my plastic sonic screwdrivers. Oh, it's going to be great.
And Ncuti's new figures, because you guarantee they're going to get new figures and new monsters and all of this sort of stuff. Yeah, I just think like the future for Doctor Who, in my opinion, has never really looked brighter. Like, at least it's looking brighter than it has. Again, since about 2013. Even then, we didn't really know what the future was past the 50th, really. Like, obviously, we knew Capaldi was taking over. But
that's the thing. As someone that didn't really enjoy Series 6 or 7 at the time of airing, like, I was like, oh, okay. I do remember enjoying the 50th when it came out, so.
Yeah. But I think now, this is the most I've seen the fandom just be like, yep, this is really cool. Like, obviously, there are some people who have got concerns, which, as we said before, makes sense, but yeah, I'm just really excited about all of it.
What else is there to talk about?
I don't think there is much else. I think that's pretty much everything.
I think we said we'll probably leave Redacted for next episode. Like, I know I don't think you've listened to the newest ones.
I don't think I've listened to the. Yeah. Because to be honest, there's been too much going on. Yeah. Like, something eventually was going to take the back seat, and Redacted. Obviously, I don't. And it's not. No, I don't want to listen to it. I enjoyed the first 2 episodes, but like, there's been so much other stuff that it's just like
that's just sort of taking priority. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, like this just sort of had to be my priority, and it's But I will listen to that for next time, and that'll be next week's. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Wild Never.
Yeah.
Be sure to like if you enjoyed, or if you're on another platform, just I don't know, say to yourself, well, that was a good podcast. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Leave a comment and tell us how great we are.
Comment your thoughts on everything we discussed. We'll see you all again on the next Wild Endeavour.
Bye-bye.